Honourable members, official reports. Official report of 6 February 2025. Honourable members, any correction? Honourable members, in the absence of any correction, yes, Honourable Frank Afriyie.
Speaker, I'm grateful. Please, with your indulgence, let me take you to column 30, paragraph 2. And with your leave, Speaker, I read. I agree with my colleagues, the Honorable Minority Chief Whip. I think specific reference is being made to our leader here. So I agree with my colleague, not colleagues. Then I go to column 45, Speaker, with your leave, same. Under paragraph 5, Mr. Speaker, let me commend the maker of the statement, who, as I listen to colleagues, is a proud survivor. I think the word over here should be proud survivor, not survival. And again, Speaker, a bit of education here.
Mr. Speaker, I want to draw my colleagues' attention to something. You should turn to page 2 of the official report. Page 2, not column, page 2. Page 2.
You mean column 2?
Not column, the very cover, the cover paper. When you open, first page, 10, you see something written at the top. Yes. You can read that, correction of errors. You've seen that, please? Yes. So just be guided by what is there. Mr. Speaker, for the avoidance of doubt, it says correction of errors of substance may be made only on the floor of the House with the permission of the Speaker. However, correction of typographical or grammatical errors which members suggest for the bound volumes which will be compiled in the end of the meeting may be clearly marked in the daily report and the copy containing the corrections submitted at the editor's office. Parliament has not later than 4 clear days after the publication of the report. So, if the member who made a contribution has anything of substance to introduce, or there was any error, which error is in substance, then that member or you who followed proceedings may, with the leave of Speaker, get that correction done, which is a matter of substance. But for errors in grammar, which we all are sinners, errors, typographical errors, and all those things, the rule is there to guide. And I believe that is what you're doing. I'm not trying to take your industry away, but I'm just trying to guide you, sir. Mr. Speaker, thank you.
Thank you very much. I urge members to take note accordingly.
Okay, Speaker, I'm properly guided. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yes, Honorable Brahma. Honorable Brahma, I thought you were on your feet. but that is okay. Any further corrections? Honorable members, the official report of Thursday, 6 February 2025, as corrected, is hereby adopted as the true record of proceedings. Honorable members, the official report of Thursday, 11 February 2025. Yes, Honorable Haji Aladi Ayamba.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, column 56, second line, the word I used was, the words are stereotyping is one of the issues. Stereotyping is one of the issues, not stereotypes. If that can be corrected. Thank
yes,
you.
That is a correction.
Yes, please.
So accordingly, let us be guided, let all of us be guided by what the minority leader has just read. It is also contained in page 2 of this official report. Any further correction? Honourable members, the official report of Tuesday, 11th day of February 2025 as corrected is hereby adopted as the true record of proceedings. Honourable members, the next item, following the correction of vote and proceedings and official reports, is statement. Yes, Honorable Minority Chief Whip.
Speaker, I thank you for your indulgence. Speaker, I'm aware the House had programmed the Minister for Energy and Green Transition to apprise us following a statement that was made on the House floor, and the earlier consequential directives were that the Energy Commission was supposed to appear, and at the Business Committee, that was varied at the instance of the Majority Leader, and we're supposed to have the Minister for Energy and Green Transition here. I can't see him here. I've inquired from leadership. There's no indication. The House wishes to know what alternative plans are. Then again, Leader, you bear with me that on our side, we've submitted our names for the composition of our committees, both select and standing. The delay, obviously, is coming from your side. And this delay, Mr. Speaker, is becoming unacceptable. I think I see deputy leaders looking at me with an assuring gaze. Would he assure this House, or can he give any timeline between today and tomorrow when he can submit, or they can submit their list for us to put finality to this matter? It's denying the House its oversight. It's unacceptable. Because I wish leadership, my colleagues in the majority, to speak to those two important things I've raised. First one is the committee. The second one is the Minister for Energy and Green Transition, who is nowhere to be found. And there's a practice in this House. There's a practice in this House. Is he coming or not? What is the issue? And you have a responsibility to communicate to us and let us know what the challenge of the ministry or the minister is, and for the House to decide whether we will consider that as a good and a tenable excuse or not. Speaker, they need to say something to these issues I've raised.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Minister came to this house. Yesterday we agreed that we'll start proceedings by 10 a.m. So by 10, the Minister was here. The Minister was here by 10 a.m. But because the House did not start proceedings by 10 a.m., and today too is Cabinet Day, so he is attending upon Cabinet. Mr. Speaker,
Honorable members, let's listen to each other in
Cabinet
silence.
meeting today, and the Minister has promised us that he will make himself available from 1 up to 2 o'clock. If the House is still in session, he will come and brief the House about whatever is happening in his ministry. So many of the members saw him. He came this morning. So, Minority Leader, don't take it that somebody is trying to throw dust into the eyes of the public. The Minister was here. I saw him myself. Other members also saw him. And he has promised to come back and brief the House. The issue about the committee composition. At Conclave, I told my colleague, we're almost done. Almost done. Even some issues came up when we were there in respect of other members. So by tomorrow, we will submit the list to the clerk so that they will do the full comparison. Later by Tuesday next week, we'll get the committees in place so that they can start work. So, Minority Chief Whip, rest assured, by next week, Tuesday, we'll get the committees in place and everything will be sorted out. Thank you very much.
Speaker,
yes,
well,
minority.
this is a matter ordinarily we will not litigate on, but I will welcome my colleague and we can grant him the benefit of the doubt. He just assumed office as a deputy whip, so we can understand him. However, he should be guided. We are not litigating on whether the minister was here or not. The minister cannot come here and just by mere word of mouth say that I'm going for cabinet and that's it. No. The practice has been that where the minister is unable to appear, the ministry has to write officially. Speaker, that has been the practice. Let's not debate this matter.
Honorable Minority Chief Whip, I am reliably informed that the sector minister was here. In view of the fact that there was a bit of delay, they actually put it into writing that he would have to attend a cabinet meeting. So I intend to direct that he should be rescheduled for next week at 11, not at 10.
Speaker, that's fair. On the matter of the committees, I think my good friend needs a good briefing from his boss, and that's needs a good briefing from his boss, the chief whip. Because 2 weeks ago, Speaker, you were the one who was presiding. You were presiding then. He carried 2 big fat files that they were done with their side. The committees had been composed. Today, he used the word almost. The two doesn't gel. So please relate. When we were there, we did things properly. You should probably take a cue from us. Honorable Champo, probably take a cue from us. So that, but seriously, Speaker, this delay is becoming a concern. And if you speak to colleagues, almost everybody is concerned about why we still haven't constituted our committees. We shouldn't take this matter lightly. Parliament is as good as its committees. So please, is it the case that you are suggesting tomorrow you are going to submit your lists and then we can have committee of selection meeting? Hopefully next week, Tuesday, we can take the motion. Can you give that indication?
Mr. Speaker, my colleague is not trying to be fair to me because he's aware, even at the conclave, some issues came up and we needed to incorporate all those issues. So just take my word. We'll submit the list by close of work tomorrow, early next week. selection committee will meet so that we'll incorporate everything and then we'll get it done. So don't worry. We'll put the committees in place because very soon the budget will be read and we need the committees to do those estimates and then program them to do other things. So don't worry. We'll get the committees in place. You know, we are forming our government. Do you understand? Yes. Yes. And it's on record time. Yes. So, Mr. Speaker, no, it has effect on the composition of committees. You can't put somebody as a chairperson, the next day the person is made a minister. You have to come back and amend the report and all that. Do you understand? So, at least, bear with us. Next week, we'll put the committees in place. Mr. Speaker, thank you very much.
Yes, Honourable Member for Sedro.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. Mr. Speaker, this House is governed by our standing orders. And if the very people who pass these standing orders, we don't want to respect it, then I don't know what else we can respect again. Order 2042, 2052, 2052 is clear on the matter.
That Honourable Member read.
Mr. Speaker, with your leave, I want to read Order 2052. The Committee of Selection shall prepare and report to the House within the first 10 sitting days after appointment the list of members to compose the standing and the select committees of the House. Mr. Speaker, this House...
Who is the chairman of the selection committee?
Well, it's Mr. Speaker who is the chairman of the selection committee. And once you are sitting, I assume that you are the chairman. I assume that you are the chairman. So, by procedure, what happened if you are not able to comply with the timeline? Well, Mr. Speaker,
you seek leave of the Speaker.
Yes.
So, Speaker should seek his own leave.
I'm drawing your attention that this is our own standing orders, and therefore we have to respect it and make sure. I mean, I agree with colleagues, all their submissions are okay, but, Mr. Speaker, we cannot be delaying on these matters. We need to put a closure on it. There should be a definite date for us to complete this, because it brings a lot of put members on suspense and all those. We need to be able to conclude this matter. And I believe with your good self and how you are deliberate on certain matters, I'm sure you will ensure this thing is done so that everybody will be. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable members, thank you very much for... Yes, Honourable Nyindam.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much.
On which of the issues?
On the same issues on the committee. Mr. Speaker, I can see most at times, even when statements are made in this House, you struggle because some of these statements, you want to refer them to the appropriate committees so that we can all look at them and recommendations coming out from those statements. But because these committees are not in place, Mr. Speaker, sometimes these statements are left hanging. I know it's a concern to you. We appreciate the position the majority find themselves. I have been there before and I appreciate it. But Mr. Speaker, it's been long overdue. And I listened to my colleague, the Deputy Whip. He was struggling. The assurances he's given are not assuring enough. No, they are not assuring enough. And Mr. Speaker, I want you to hold him responsible for what he said. That is where I am coming from. Mr. Speaker, he says tomorrow, finishing will be done, and by Tuesday, Mr. Speaker, the committees will be in this House. Mr. Speaker, I want to appeal to you to hold him. The Chief Whip just entered, and he should not muddy the waters, because I know he's preparing to say something. Your deputy has already assured us, Mr. Speaker, that tomorrow and Monday the committees will be formed. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to appeal to you to hold him responsible so that on Tuesday they don't come back here and give us stories. In any case, Mr. Speaker, the appointments are almost done. They are just left with four persons, and I'm sure by now they know themselves. So, Mr. Speaker, don't use that as an excuse. I met a friend and he was telling me by Tuesday that four will come. So those of you who haven't heard your names, don't hope, it's over. Mr. Speaker, it's over, don't hope. So that you can take over some of these committees, and then, God's willing, we all do our oversight responsibility properly with the committees. Mr. Speaker, thank you for indulging me. I'm grateful. Mr. Speaker, I told you, you see that the chief will want to muddy the waters. Mr. Speaker, don't allow him to muddy the waters. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Majority Chief Whip.
Speaker, I thank you, and I thank you for the opportunity to speak to this matter assuringly. Speaker, I am in my 9th year in this House, and this is one of the periods that we are constituting institutions to enable the organ of parliament function with alacrity. This is just February, Mr. Speaker. Committees have been formed. The rest are about to be formed. Speaker, even you have made referrals to committees. And those referrals will be attended to, a report will be presented. So the picture shouldn't be painted that Parliament is incapacitated, is unable to perform its functions. Speaker, indeed. You know that even questions are one of the methods by which we exercise oversight. Mr. Speaker, for next week alone, we have over 18 questions slated for ministers to come and respond. So Mr. Speaker, I am responding to these matters because the Honorable Nyindam, the member for Mandai, made the point that the power of members to exercise their oversight is being taken away because committees have not been constituted. But that cannot be the case. But having said this, Mr. Speaker, our committees, our side, the numbers are set. We will submit them to the clerk to set. Yes, almost set. It is midday. We are set. We'll submit it to clerk, and I'm sure that the committee of selection would meet by tomorrow. Speaker is the chair. We'll meet by tomorrow or Monday, and by Tuesday the report will be laid and taken. And this matter can be put to rest. And I see that anytime my brother realizes I'm not here, then he goes to town and he comes after me. And I believe that it shouldn't be so. So I want to assure them, Mr. Speaker, we're in February. We'll constitute our committees properly speaking, so work can be done. We are in February. We are not late at all. Last Parliament, you constitute your committees in March. I was here. So, Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity. Yes.
Speaker. Well, honourable members, honourable Minority Whip, with all due respect, you have raised the issue. It's been deliberated upon, and we've been given some assurance that the report will be laid on Tuesday and taken the same day. Let's hold them to their words, hoping that the report will really be laid on Tuesday and taken the same day. So,
just to add that my colleague said we have 18 questions before the House, and this is a House of record. That is not a fact. We don't have questions admitted yet. He may be referring to a consideration we had at the Business Committee. But that report is not a plenary, and it has not been accepted. It has not been adopted. So don't say that 18 questions have been adopted or are before the House. They are not. That's what you said. That's what actually you said.
Speaker, with your leave.
Honourable members,
Yes.
Honourable Majority Whip, with all due respect, I don't want us to belabor this point. You have given us the assurance that Tuesday the report will be laid and taken. Let's just don't belabor it.
Speaker, I'm not belaboring the point. Just because I said slated.
On the issue
That's
of
the
the
language that
energy,
is slated for next week.
on the issue of the energy minister, I would direct the clerk to reprogram the energy minister for next week at 11. Honourable members, I'm talking about next week in the sense that after tomorrow, the next available date will be next week. This is a man who wrote to Parliament that he's attending a cabinet meeting. We do not know the matters that will ensue at cabinet. So let's give the benefit of the doubt. Let's give the benefit of the doubt so that we program him for next week, Tuesday. Thank you very much, honourable members. Yes, honourable minority leader.
Mr. Speaker, just to put matters in proper perspective and without litigating same, the minister wrote to us that he would come today. And we have just been informed that because of cabinet commitment, he's left us and he says he will come later in the afternoon. Of course, cabinet, we can't be sure. So I agree with you. But Mr. Speaker, just for the records, that in going, he only left a message with the Deputy Majority Whip. I don't know whether you've received a new letter this morning. So I just want clarity whether you have a new letter.
That he will be here to answer questions. He was actually here, but we delay in sitting, and he had to go for cabinet meeting. And as a result, I am directing that he be programmed to appear before the House next week, Tuesday.
To assist you, you said he's written a letter. That's why I wanted clarity, that the letter was for him to come today. But he hasn't written a new letter. So I agree with you, except that I just want to help you in the circumstance, because this is a house of record. This is a house of record, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Majority Chief Whip, on which matter?
On this matter, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, indeed, when the minister came.
Honourable Majority Leader, this matter, Majority Chief Whip,
Yes.
This matter has been decided, based on which I have even directed that the minister be programmed to appear next week, Tuesday. So I think that puts the matter to rest.
Mr. Speaker, it does not. He's urging that it be brought tomorrow, Friday. And I want to give information. When the minister
Honourable Majority Chief Whip, I have given direction that he be programmed to appear before the House next week. So my direction is next week, Tuesday.
Mr. Speaker, but let me give information, because I attempted to read the minority leader for us to have an agreement even before coming to you. But he couldn't answer the call. That's all that I wanted to provide.
Very well.
That when the minister came and was about to leave for cabinet, I actually reached out so I could have an understanding with him. No, to you, on your phone.
Please address the chair.
Mr. Speaker, I called him I called you so that we could have reached an agreement. Then when we come to the floor, we would have agreed with you as to when you should return next week. So he was here. So I agree that you've already given direction. But just to indicate that I attempted to reach him to let him know that this was the circumstances that the minister found himself and that he would not be able to address the House as scheduled. But I couldn't get him on the phone.
Yes, we've been informed accordingly by the Deputy Whip.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Honorable members, we have a statement on social justice, and 3 members have written statement on social justice. Honorable members, I want us to take the 3 statements together. One is in the name of Honorable Phyllis Na Koyo Okuno, Member of Parliament, Ewutu Senya East Constituency, on the occasion of the World Day of Social Justice. We also have statement by Honorable Alassane Kobina Gansa to mark the World Day of Social Justice, and another statement in the name of Honorable Francis Kobina Brimpom Owusu Achiao, Member of Parliament for Joaben. Honorable members, we may be taking these 3 statements together. In the meantime, Honorable Minority Leader indicated there was escalating situation of cholera in his constituency, and he will want to inform the House. So, Honorable Minority Leader, you have the floor.
Yeah. Mr. Speaker, I again thank you for the opportunity to bring this matter again to the national space. Mr. Speaker, yesterday I visited the Winneba Government Hospital. I was involved in a number of public education programs. And the situation at the treatment center is not good at all, to put it in simple language. The water is not flowing in the whole hospital. The doctors and nurses complain of shortage of water. So far, although the Minister of Health has visited the Winneba Health Directorate, but nothing has been given to them by way of logistical support. Mr. Speaker, yesterday I had to buy additional 100 mattresses for them, and I have released another 100,000 Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, the situation is really getting out of hand. Yes, I've released 100,000 Ghana cedis last week for them, and Mr. Speaker, again, another 100,000 Ghana cedis has been released. The PPEs, Mr. Speaker, are in short supply. They don't have it. Although a health minister was there, the regional directorate is yet to provide logistical support. Mr. Speaker, Winneba is a commercial center. People come from all over the region, all over the country to trade in Winneba. So it shouldn't be seen as a Winneba problem. Until recently, cholera was elsewhere, and now it's in Winneba. If it is not properly contained, it may get out of hand and may become a major national health issue. I am using this platform to again appeal to government to intervene. The health professionals are stressed. People are in distress. They need medication. They need vaccination. They are exposed. In fact, the male ward of the Winneba Government Hospital has been converted into a cholera treatment center. They've also set up a tent outside to receive new cases. Children are going through this trauma. The aged are the most affected. Mr. Speaker, it's not a palatable scene. I've uploaded some of the pictures on my social media handle. I didn't really capture those on sick beds because it's very pathetic. Government would have to come in to support. And I'm also appealing to agencies in the health sector, as well as those in the business of mechanizing PPEs, to come to the aid of the health facilities in Winneba. It's all they need. The pharmaceuticals. It's a humble appeal to them to support those in need. Because, Mr. Speaker, like I said, there are traders from Swedru who come to Winneba. Winneba has 2 market days, Tuesdays and Fridays. The people buy the fish from the Inshona. The fishermen are still bringing their catch. The landing beach is yet to be commissioned. So the fish is still exposed. And the very people who are trading are the ones who are selling for us to eat. So those in Kaswa, those in Mankesim, if care is not taken, Mr. Speaker, we will be telling another story. So it is a very humble appeal. I pray that we move in to intervene. And I'm appealing to colleague members of Parliament, the members who are here. This is not a Futu's problem. It is our problem. When I hear of challenges in your backyard, you know how I come in to support you. We are not launching an appeal for fun, but I'm calling on colleagues, do your own small contribution and support Efutu. When Honorable Ablakwa had the flood situation in his constituency, I gave 50,000. It's a matter of public record. He announced it in this chamber to Honorable Ablakwa for his constituents. I gave 50,000. And all of you, you know, those of you who get challenges in your constituency, I don't leave you naked. Charity in times like this is very important. So, honorable majority members, this side we are in opposition. You are in government. You should donate handsomely to support your leader's cause, because the people there are suffering. Manka there, or ye futufo, wanasam, onye edinafo, onye jumakofo, onye igwefo one problem. Oka inhina enyo prunsu. Oka inhina enyo oprunsu. Inti sendo ye futua. Ochina obokwe kodo catches out. Mr. Speaker, in other words, I'm saying that
Honorable Minority Leader, don't invite me to the debate.
Not at all. Mr. Speaker, what I'm trying to say is that no one individual is an island. You know, when rain falls, as Ola Rotimi said, the gods are not to blame. It doesn't fall on one roof only. It falls on every roof. So, Mr. Speaker, it is a futu. But the nature of the situation is such that it can have a spiral effect in various communities. So we have to contain it, and I'm hereby launching a special appeal for my friends to contribute handsomely, because we never know when an Akachi trader will come to a futu and he may go back or she may go back and there may be a problem. So if we contain it, and the traders from Akachi who come to a futu to trade get into trouble and they are contained, there wouldn't be any spread. So I'm calling not only the central region brothers and sisters here, but the entire house, please come to my aid and come handsomely. We need logistics, we need medication, we need mattresses, we need tents, we need money to support them. Those who go through the challenge, when they are discharged, even food to eat is a problem. So if you have rice, you have sugar, you have milk, anything, please donate. Mosquito nets, donate them. The liquid soap, we need support for our vulnerable compatriots at the Inshona. Please come to the aid of Efutu, and please come to their aid through me, and it shall be thankfully received and faithfully applied. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Honourable members, he's just bringing the information to our notice. I intend not to open the floor for comment. Honourable members, the minister responds out to him and bring to his notice that the situation is particularly escalating in a Futu constituency. And therefore, there is a need to pay urgent attention to it. Honorable Minority Leader, Honorable Kobna Minta Akando, the minister responsible for health, is our colleague. I will reach out to him, and I will plead with you to also personally reach out to him so that the situation can be addressed. And in view of the fact that when he was here to brief the House, members had the opportunity to contribute and make comment to the issue. Today, I intend not to open the floor for comment. However, there is a special appeal to members of Parliament. Let's take note of the appeal and support the minority leader to address the situation. It is true, you may never know when a trader from your constituency will visit his constituency and go back to the constituency with the disease. So the earlier the situation is addressed in his constituency, the better it is for all of us. Honourable members, I thank you very much for your indulgence. And honourable members, let's move to the statement on the social justice. Yes, Deputy Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think you've almost taken the sail out of our way. But I think just to support what my honourable brother is saying, the minister was here on Tuesday, as you have rightly said. And from all indication, the Ministry of Health is on the ground. There are structures that some of these things can actually be passed through. The appeal the honourable leader is making is a good one. I mean, the government is doing what the government is supposed to do, but yet, in many places, as it is in the Futu, in Cape Coast, people are supporting this. So I think his appeal is fair, but I don't think we'll have to give any indication that the government is not on top of this issue. But the government is actually on top. The minister was here to explain to us exactly what is happening. And I can tell you, on authority in the central region, that the situation is under control. Structures are there, and they are in Winneba as well. So my honorable brother is close to things as we all are. And if it is appeal of people from the private sector or something coming to help, fair enough. But the minister is on the ground, the Ministry of Health is on the ground, and obviously things with corolla, is something that is fluid. The minister was here on Tuesday. Yes, things probably have changed, a bit. Yeah, I mean, this is what I mean, I can tell you that in Cape Coast, they've been given things. So I don't know why things. That's what I'm saying. We're talking about central region here, and we are under one directorate. So I don't know how Cape Coast can get things and Winneba wouldn't get them under the same health directorate. So I'm just want to appeal to my brother that we should use the structures that the minister came here to eloquently, tell us on what they are doing. The ministry, the government is on the ground. The minister is on the ground. Structures are in place to deal with these things. So we need to make the structures work and follow the structures. Appeal from the private sector or from others who can support, because this affects all of us. And as you rightly said, it could be, place A today, it can be in place B tomorrow. So we all need to be vigilant on this. But I want to give I don't want us to live here with the impression that the government is not on the ground and that the minister is not in control. The minister is in absolute control with structures in place to deal with this. If there are some challenges or things that has probably happened between the time he came here to speak and now, I think we need to communicate to the appropriate channels to deal with it as they already are doing that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Deputy Majority Leader. Honorable members, we have students from some educational institutions visiting the House. They are from the following institutions: National College of Defense Studies, led by General Aite, Commandant, and Brigadier General Fred Ntri, Deputy Commander, Professor John Akopari, Dean. We also have Aggies Preparatory School here with us. They are led by Pobi Abiu, administrator of the school. They are from Anyas Otum. They are 80 in number. And then the National College of Defense, they are 44. We also have students from Nsawara Ejumafo Senior High School, led by Mr. Prince Matthias, leader. They are from Akotombra. They are 90 in number. And Holy Trinity Local School is also here, led by Vivian Boatin, executive manager. They are from Kwadaso. They are 50 in number. Honorable members, on behalf of the House and on my own behalf, I wish our students a fruitful visit to to the House. Honourable members, we then proceed to take our joint statement, starting from Honourable Francis Kobana Brimpong Owusu Achiao, Member of Parliament for Joaben. You have the floor.
Speaker, if you may, shall we proceed to the next statement?
Honourable members, there's a similar statement in honor of Phyllis Na Koyo Okuno. Is the honourable member present in the House? If you are, you have the floor.
Mr. Speaker. I'm honored to speak on the occasion of the World Day for Social Justice. Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity to rise and make this statement on the floor of this August House in commemoration of the World Day for Social Justice, a day set aside by the United Nations for nations to reflect on the fundamental principles of fairness, equity, and human dignity in our societies. Social justice is at the heart of every serious and thriving democracy, and for us in Ghana, it must be viewed as an essential pillar for the pursuit of national and inclusive development for all. In 2027, the UN established the World Day for Social Justice and first observed the day in 2009. To promote social justice by addressing issues of poverty, inequality, unemployment, and human rights violations. Since then, the term social justice has featured prominently in the literature of conversations about social justices and sustainable development. Mr. Speaker, this year's celebration is on the theme, Empowering Inclusion, Bridging Gaps for Social Justice. The theme calls for the need to urgently implement inclusive policies and social protection systems to address various forms of inequities in the country. Mr. Speaker, the struggle for social justice in Africa, and more especially Ghana, is deeply rooted in history and dates back in the Berlin Conference of 1884 to 1885. The aftermath of the Berlin Conference saw partitioning of African without recourse to indigenous populations. Subsequently, centuries of oppressions through enslavement and colonialism followed with the exploitation of Africa under colonial rule, perpetrating a systematic economic and social injustice that continues to affect the progress of the continent today. However, Mr. Speaker, the tide began to turn when the dawn of independence movements across Africa. Ghana, under the leadership of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, became the first sub-Saharan African country to achieve independence in 6th March 1957. This marked a significant step towards emancipation and dismantling oppressive colonial structures, and building a more just and equitable society. Since then, Ghana has made notable progress in areas such as education, the free education for Northern Ghana under Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, healthcare, political participation, and economic empowerment, and yet the fight for true social justice remains unfinished as many inequalities persist in our society today. Now, to the current trends of social justice issues in Ghana. Mr. Speaker, strides have been made, and yet Ghana continues to grapple with serious social justice issues, which call for urgent attention and sustained actions to curb rising inequalities and inequities as a result of our difficult economic conditions. Mr. Speaker, permit me to highlight some current issues in the area of social justice. Democracy and human rights violation. The arrest of the Democracy Hub protesters in recent years and illegal arrests